in the UK, they're even more unpopular than Prince Andrew.
Well, David, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Looking forward to getting your perspective and expertise on this, as Harry and Meghan have been facing some pretty bad press throughout the past couple of months, but especially this past week. So how do you think that they've been handling it from a PR perspective?
It's great to be on. They really have not been doing a good job whatsoever. I would give them an F.
Oh, geez.
They really have a big hole to dig out of. The one good thing they're doing right now is they haven't opened up their mouth in the past 24 hours to say anything more damaging.
Yes.
Silver lining. You know, one of the biggest stories of the last maybe 2 weeks or last few weeks is this Spotify deal. In your experience, what makes a deal like this fall apart?
Well, really, a deal like this, is usually very easy to execute and complete. What it usually indicates to me is they overpromised and underdelivered, and they were difficult to deal with. And when I say difficult to deal with, I'm hearing from people that I've spoken to that they were very difficult with junior members of the Spotify team. They were very demanding, very rude. And that feedback, along with the part that they were not delivering on time, the public perception of the two of them was going down. Spotify decided it was better to exit now than later.
Yeah. And Spotify executives, or a Spotify executive, came out and called them grifters. How damaging is that to their brand and to other brands being like, oh, maybe I don't want to work with somebody that's labeled that?
Oh, it's incredibly damaging, and it's actually reinforcing this negative perception that everyone has of them, that they are not, on the up and up. They're opportunists. They're looking out for themselves, and they're just slamming the royal family and signing these deals for publicity. It's hurting to them. And if I was a Netflix executive, I would be terrified right now of the damage that they could do to my brand, the financial loss that we're going to take, and the disaster that could be happening.
So Netflix might sort of be re-examining their deal with Harry and Meghan. What is it possible for Netflix to back out now, or would that just be like a huge legal issue?
It'll become a legal issue, but Netflix could back out because they may determine, and they have in the past, that the damage to their brand would be worse than the financial cost. What Harry and Meghan have to do right now, if the Netflix deal continues to help rebuild their image, and so any other brand might approach them, is they have to over-deliver now rather than under-deliver. They really have to become easy to work with. They have to really provide a quality product in time, in fact, exceed expectations. It's very hard for them. I would expect, if there's not some movement on their end, probably within the next several weeks, Netflix will announce that they are terminating the deal, because they will realize that the damage, they're radioactive right now, and they'll suffer a greater brand damage than any financial difficulties they may face with the two of them.
If Netflix drops them, is that kind of the end for Harry and Meghan? Not the end, necessarily, but where would they even go from something like that? Who would ever want to work with them, with the bad reputation, under delivering? That seems like career suicide, not career career execution, I guess.
Well, it is, but you never say never in this day and age, because people can rebound. But they would really have to do a lot of work, and I don't think we'll ever see their financial value be as high as it was prior to all of this damage, even if they recover. We never see that. It's a completely different thing, but look at Paula Deen. She never recovered from her PR debacle. No one ever comes back as strong as they were in the past. And the other thing that these two have is we're seeing in the US market, as we've seen in the UK, their popularity is continuing to plunge. I believe I saw one poll, and if I have this mistaken, I apologize, but in the UK, they're even more unpopular than Prince Andrew. I saw in one poll.
That's correct.
And in the US, I've seen how people on all sides of the aisle do not like them. And what's interesting is when they first began their PR movement here in the United States, we saw many on the left really embrace them. They no longer are. We're seeing everyone, as I said, on all sides of the political spectrum here in the United States really bail out on them.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.